I'm from the UK, and if there's one thing that unites us Brits, it's that we like a good piss up. And I'm no different. I like a drink and always have. But over the past couple of months, I've drunk a bit too much. So I'm going to quit, go cold turkey for 30 days, and let's get started. So before starting my journey, it was appropriate to have my farewell drink. I had one last can of beer in the fridge, and as you can tell, it quenched my thirst. As I drank this beer watching Arsenal or nothing, I thought that tomorrow I need to get clear on the why behind this goal. It was then day one of the journey, and I decided to clear out any other temptations. In the fridge, there were none. Just 2 cans of 0% Guinness, which is fucking grim by the way, and a half-empty flat bottle of cider my girlfriend politely left behind. I then decided to hide away my spirits just to remove any temptations in my environment. Pretty cool decanter, eh? Bit wankerish, but it was a graduation present. But whilst doing this, I realised my motivation for the goal of not drinking was both internal and external. Internally, I wanted to feel more energised, given that even these few drinks each night had made me feel like a slug. And I also wanted to feel physically fit again, because back in March, I was the fittest I've ever been in my life, when I ran a 1 hour, 25-minute half marathon. But after an injury in the summer of boozing, I was so far away from that level of fitness. And lastly, I just wanted to prove to myself that I can be disciplined. It's been a while since I've shown true discipline, and I feel that this challenge was a good starting point to build up this trait again. These 3 reasons would hopefully carry me through the 30 days. But I also knew that I needed to tap into some external motivators too. And the big one for me with this goal is money, or at least saving money. So I live in Edinburgh and it's August right now, and that means the Edinburgh Fringe has been going on. So I've been going to shows a lot of days, and just naturally when you're at shows you get a couple of drinks, and that quickly adds up. And no word of lie, I actually paid £6 for this Guinness. Pretty heart-wrenching. But yeah, a lot of places during this time of year in Edinburgh do take the piss with their prices, but suckers like me will pay for it. And also, I've had my girlfriend visiting me for the past few weeks, so we haven't actually seen each other for about 4 months. So when we do see each other, we make up for that with obviously a lot more date nights, going out for meals, and obviously a lot of drinks. And yeah, I hate to think how much I've actually spent over the past few weeks and also the summer as a whole. So I'm going to have a look at my credit card transactions over the past sort of 2.5 months, see if I can roughly work out how much I've actually spent on alcohol.
A few moments later.
Oh God. So all in, over the past 10 weeks or so, this is an approximate, but I think this is pretty fair. £663 spent on alcohol, which, you know, I don't even consider myself like a big drinker. But fuck, that's a big number. So yeah, that has definitely shocked me. I didn't think it would be that much. Do things like that to really give yourself that slap in the face, which this has definitely given me. So yeah, look forward to saving some pennies now. Aside from the money, I also wanted to track any physical changes that completing this challenge would have. Being in my late 20s, I'm aware of the dangers of an impending beer belly, and I've noticed myself getting a bit softer over the summer. So I bought some scales to check out where I'm at on this front. And for context, I'm bang on 6 foot in height, and I've always been a pretty slim dude. If you're watching this at work, you're about to see a half-naked man, so you might want to save this bit for later. So apparently I'm 72.5 kilograms. So apparently after taking off my socks, I actually gained a bit of weight. So it's actually 72.55 kilograms. Body fat 13.1%. I guess that's not terrible. So we'll see if we can get some of these down. If any of this changes, great. I'm not too fussed. I know I'm probably pretty light, I think. 72.55 kilograms. Also, I'll put that the other measures of pounds and stone, depending what you use, so you can actually see how much of a weenie I am. So the first couple of days were completely fine. No cravings or temptations to drink. But on day 3, things changed. It was a Friday. And also that day I'd found out that I'd secured a new internship. And this was quite a big deal for me because I've been self-employed for over 6 years. So I thought, fuck it, sod the challenge, I deserve to celebrate. Nah, just kidding, I enjoyed a nice flute of flavoured sparkling water instead. By the way, after weighing myself, I realised that these smart scales are not actually that accurate. There was no way that this skinny fat guy was 13.1% body fat. I guess there was probably more between 15 to 20, so don't give me shit in the comments. So it's day 9, and today's probably the first day that I really feel like I need a drink. So tomorrow I start my internship, and I'm a bit apprehensive, a bit nervous. It's the first time I've been employed in like 6 years. So there's nothing more I'd want than just to have a nice beer to take the edge off things, but I can't. And instead I've got my flavoured sparkling water. This is turning out to be a really good substitute. But overall it's been okay. And probably the main lesson so far is that doing this has made me realise that there are many reasons why I typically drink. I've identified that, I drink to celebrate, I drink to socialise, and I drink to relax. And it's only in stopping that you actually come to appreciate the real reasons behind that. And all of those reasons, they're not necessarily bad reasons to drink, but I guess sometimes you have to question, do you really need it? Right now I do feel like I genuinely need it, but I think we'll manage just on the sparkling water for now. Right, so it's 5:15 on Friday, and I've just finished up the first full week of my internship, and fuck me, I need a drink, but I can't. So we're going to do something else instead this evening to relax and unwind. So I just need to go to the shop and get a few things, so we'll catch up in a minute. Just got back from the shop, and to be honest, still could really do with a drink, but I know I can't. So instead, to de-stress and feel a bit better about myself, I'm having a full pizza, as you do on a Friday. And one of the other reasons I went to the shop was to get some ingredients, because one thing that I've done over the past couple of weeks on a Friday is do a bit of baking. So I've realised that one of the reasons I drink is obviously to de-stress, particularly on a Friday after a tough week, and I thought I need to find something else that's actually going to help me do that. So we're going to make some peanut butter oatmeal cookies tonight, and hopefully that will make me feel a little bit better about myself after a tough first week on the new job. So it was as I smashed this pizza and made these cookies that I realised this challenge was more than just setting a personal challenge. It's only when you make a sudden change in lifestyle that you really think through the deeper why of your actions. Drinking on a Friday was such an embedded norm of my life, much like many of you potentially watching. It was and has been for me a coping mechanism, whether I was de-stressing, celebrating, or just trying to detach from life's pressures. Drinking alcohol in too many instances was the immediate go-to. Does this worry me? Not necessarily. But doing this alternative de-stressing activity at least showed me I don't always have to turn to the beers. There's many other things that we can all do to get that little bit of escapism we definitely need. And these cookies may not look great, but they were fucking delicious. It's Sunday, and we're on the home straight. I think this is like day 25 now, and just got back from a 14-mile run. That's the longest I've run in over 6 months. Fucking hell, I need to catch my breath. Let's get a bit more light in here. And today was like a real strong indication of like the actual benefit of doing this challenge. So there's this concept I came across years ago from, I think, the book Charles Duhigg, The Power of Habit. And the name of this concept is a Keystone Habit. And basically what that is making kind of one positive change in terms of like a positive habit. And then what that becomes is kind of like the first domino in the domino effect of improving so many other aspects of your life. So for me, I've recognized that stopping drinking has definitely improved my sleep, which has in turn increased my energy, which has in turn made it a lot easier to exercise and really sort of push myself. To think that I would have run 14 miles like a few weeks ago was just a joke, because I've been dealing with this kind of niggly injury for so long. And at the start of this challenge, I think it was day 3, I went on like a 5-mile run and I was absolutely blowing. I was absolutely gassed. So the change that I've seen in such a short period of time, it's just been crazy. Anyway, I'm done crouching now because I'm starting to ramp up. I need to have a stretch. The last few days of this challenge were pretty much a breeze. I just spent my days working and smashing plenty of waters. So, day 29, we're almost there. Tomorrow we'll do the weigh-in and the general sort of summary of the challenge. But today was the last time I went to the shop during the challenge, so I thought it'd be a good time to check the financials and see how much money I've saved by not drinking alcohol.
A few moments later.
So I've tallied everything up, and this is obviously just an approximation. So I've thought about the times that I have gone out, where I would typically drink, and obviously how much I would drink, and also when going to the supermarket, how many beers I typically buy. And approximately, I've saved £111, which is still quite a lot of money when you think about it, just on alcohol. So that's like kind of pub visits and grabbing a drink when you're out at a restaurant, which is always a lot more expensive. And then just, a few cans, throughout the week. It quickly adds up. So this has definitely been a benefit of doing this challenge. And I'm glad that my wallet's a bit healthier. So we'll see tomorrow if I'm going to be healthier. So we did it. It's actually day 31 today. Yesterday, I finished the challenge. I was a bit too tired to film anything in the evening after a long day of work, but I did actually film myself doing my weigh-in the morning. So as you can see, I'm a fair bit leaner, and the scales actually came in at 72.1 kilograms. So I lost just under half a kilo, equating to about a pound in body weight. But what you'll see is that I've actually gained, I think, a fair bit of muscle. Now, obviously, as you can tell, I don't lift, but I do body weight workouts a couple of times a week, alongside running 4 or 5 times a week. Yeah, that level of change I think is quite remarkable. It does show how bloating alcohol can be, and just you just end up just being a bit puffy and a bit grim. So that's a real good positive from doing this challenge, that I wasn't necessarily like super tracking, it was never really for like aesthetic reasons. It was just interesting to see externally how this impacted me. But more importantly, we want to recap on the internal motivations and goals that I set for myself. So one of which was to feel more energized. 100% do. As said before in one of the other clips, not drinking has been this keystone habit, and it's just had such a positive knock-on effect to everything surrounding, I guess, my energy management. And when it comes to feeling physically fitter, again, absolutely 100% do. Being able to exercise at a greater intensity, for longer durations, and not feeling as like gross as I'm doing it, which is really key. And then the last internal factor was proving to myself that I'm disciplined. Now, the interesting thing about this challenge was that it wasn't actually that hard. Yeah, maybe the first few days, because it was breaking maybe a go-to routine and habit of mine. I struggled a little bit. And then there were the odd occasion, when I went out and other people were drinking, and I was doing things that typically I would drink at, going for a meal at a restaurant, those sorts of things. There was only a small handful of those times where I kind of felt an initial urge of, I wish I could have a drink. But that quickly subsided. So although I have exercise discipline by doing this and fulfilling the challenge, it wasn't actually too difficult. So I don't feel that it did challenge me as much as I thought it would. So would I recommend this to other people? 100%. If you're wanting like a detox, you're wanting to just break a bad habit, if you've got into a bit of a rut with your drinking, 100% do it. And thinking to the future, it's not kind of changed my mind completely on alcohol in the sense of, I'm never going to touch a drop again. I obviously will. I'm just going to be a lot more sensible with how I do drink. I'll drink on occasions. I won't drink as much, and just allow drinking to be something that is facilitative rather than debilitating. And with that said, I'm off for a beer. I'm joking. I'm off to go make some cookies.